And hello, welcome back to Forever United TV. It is Tuesday the 22nd of July. I'm bringing you all of your Manchester United news from off and on the pitch. There is a lot going on. We have a lot to talk about this morning. Big comments from Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein overnight, which we're going to get into detail about, particularly the David Ornstein ones. There's a lot of people quoting out what Ornstein said yesterday and where Manchester United are at. I've got an interesting extract from that actual podcast and what Ornstein said and where Manchester United are actually at this window. He's named out 3 players or key players in terms of positions that Manchester United are going to go for, but there is no particular order. More details on that. Viktor Gyökeres offered to United again in the last 24 hours, says Romano. He's given an update on Rasmus Hojlund as well and where we're at with him. Obviously, Bryan Mbeumo, as you've seen last night, has signed for Manchester United. Official announcement has been made. He had his first training session yesterday and he's on the plane today to America, heading out to Chicago for United's first pre-season game on the tour. And with that as well, a lot more information has come out from what happened with the Bryan Mbeumo transfer and why it took so long. So lots to get through on that side of things as well. Big push on the striker side of things this morning as well. Watkins, Sesko, Jackson, everything else that's happened with Manchester United. Their attempt to sign somebody else that has just gone for big money last week. Yeah, there's a lot. There's an awful lot. I want your comments in the live section, everybody, as well on this morning. As we always go on the morning shows, get fully interactive and get you involved in everything. Let's get into what is actually going on with Manchester United. I think the best place to start is with David Ornstein. He has been the one more than anybody else this summer that has been absolutely on the ball, on top of everything going on with Manchester United. And I have pulled off a bit from what David Ornstein was saying. He pretty much summed up everything as to what's going on at Manchester United this summer. So, first of all, I wanted to show you this little clip from Ornstein and what he actually said regarding Manchester United's hunt for what happened with Bryan Mbeumo, the targets going way back to the start of the window, where they're at right now, and what he expects to happen in the coming weeks in the transfer window for Manchester United. And he's sort of there in this video, I think, and you tell me in the comment section what you think, sort of put out a little bit of a calming sort of message to Manchester United fans and then football fans in general in terms of what's actually going on in this window. But here's what Ornstein said overall. Here's a little piece from what he said last night on Manchester United in particular.
I've got to say that Bryan Mbeumo was always at the top of their list for a wide attacker. As it materialised, Manchester United have managed to close out deals for 2 top targets in Cunha and Mbeumo before they leave for their pre-season tour. So a bit of credit where it's due. After that, United are clearly going to focus on other areas. In no particular order, the goalkeeping department needs to be addressed in the view of United. That doesn't necessarily mean Andre Onana's going to leave. He's got an injury at the moment. There may not be suitors for him. There may be. Let's see how that develops. We've seen a lot of speculation around Martinez and we don't know of movement on that, and there will be more goalkeepers in the frame as well. And number 6, I think, is on the agenda as well. So defensive midfielder, no doubt we'll see loads of names mentioned, and we're going to have to respect the process in that because we don't have any sort of information on developments yet. And then, of course, the number 9, they want to sign a striker. Now, we don't know of them actively sort of moving on Sesko, Watkins, reports on both in the last sort of 24 hours before recording this. No doubt that they are on the list of Manchester United. And of course, things can change as the market goes on. Prices shift, they go up, things become less possible. They come down, things become more possible. And they will have other options as well. And I know there is a lot of anxiety among all club fan bases right now about why are we taking so long? Guys, we're in July. We've got the rest of July. We've got the whole of August. Yeah, I know everybody wants to get their squad settled before the season in an ideal world. But Manchester United are by no means alone in not having that so far. And they are ahead of quite a few clubs in what they've done. It's a decent start. Loads more to do, and no doubt that will define or influence the success of Ruben Amorim and his team in the short term. And one final point to make on that is that they might not be able to do all of their business or desired activity in this window. Some might have to come in January, some might come the next summer. It may go in different directions, but they are clearly working very hard at this. And I'm really impressed by the 2 signings so far. I'm really impressed that they've managed to make the most of a very difficult situation on Rashford. But the sort of true judgment is in the weeks ahead.
Good to finally hear a lot of in-depth information there from David Ornstein. Very insightful into what's actually happening with United's window so far. A lot in that there regarding Bryan Mbeumo, obviously being United's top targets. There's a whole lot more from what he actually said, where United are actually going with their targets, what's actually happening now at this point. There's still a long time to go in the transfer window. People actually need to be calm. And Manchester United are actually in a miles better position than a lot of other football clubs right now. So it's all right, people, to actually use David Ornstein and say that he's the one that you should be looking at and listening to, but fans still want to say that Manchester United are way behind and we're not doing good business in the circumstances. Yet when Ornstein says it, everyone goes a little bit quiet. I'm talking about the negative side of things and how this has been pushed by a lot of Man United's fan base and this transfer window so far. Very impressed with how Manchester United have actually got 2 absolute quality signings done already before they've gone on pre-season tour. There are clubs that are nowhere near that situation right now. United are doing well. But then again, he goes on to say that, look, this expects Manchester United to be very busy. He said there, and you heard it, still a lot more to do, and there's a lot more to come. He did warn that they could not make their targets, and they might actually not come into the club. It could take till the January transfer window, maybe even to next summer. But their main targets are in, and that's the big thing on this. There is that push for the striker. The striker keeps on coming up. It's all that anybody is talking about right now. And again, even Ornstein said there that Manchester United actually as well, he's not actually on that clip there, but another bit from his podcast, he actually said that last week Manchester United actually went in for Gyökeres, but he'd already committed to Liverpool, so they couldn't get the deal done. So if Manchester United were in for Gyökeres, it kind of shows you exactly where United are at finance-wise, if you get what I mean with that there. There's a lot of talk about what Manchester United need to do in selling players, but again, this does look like a sign that Manchester United feel confident in what they're doing with the outgoings to go in and actually contact clubs regarding other players to come into Manchester United. Why would we go and approach to try and buy Gyökeres if we did not have the money in situ, or we weren't confident enough to have that money in from player sales incoming? He mentioned in there as well the money saved from Marcus Rashford's wages, which is huge. Ornstein has been one that has always driven down the fact that Manchester United, with players off the books in wages, is just as important, and that's usually where I've had my stance on this, and I've gone on about this constantly all of the time. Manchester United with players off the books is just as important as making player sales, and the wage situation at this football club in balancing out the whole financial set up throughout the year for Manchester United, the full PSR year, it's absolutely huge, and this is what clubs use to get these transfers over the line. It's about that monthly and annual cost overall. They're not too bothered about the transfer fee, which is why there is encouragement there with Benjamin Sesko, I would say, above everybody else. He also mentioned in his piece about Ollie Watkins, and obviously what Laurie Whitwell was saying about Watkins. United could still go back in for Watkins. Watkins and Sesko are there. There are plenty of strikers available for Manchester United to go to, and they are looking to prioritise a striker this window. They want that one more player in, and then it comes down, and he also said that Rasmus Hojlund could be leaving Manchester United this summer. He also said in his piece about Jadon Sancho as well, which we talked about last night, not being anywhere near. Donny doesn't know where them reports have come from. Well, we can tell you straight away it's come from Italy, and they're the ones driving it. So let's see if there is anything else that develops with Jadon Sancho, but still need to figure out a situation for him and get him gone from the football club. I think there is confidence with, obviously, Manchester United being able to do what they did with Marcus Rashford as well, and that taking that into other player sales as well, that United will get the job done. But Ornstein also said they're very impressed with making the most out of a really difficult situation in Marcus Rashford, and getting that done so quickly, I think, has definitely give a lot of people at Manchester United the encouragement, and people talking in and around the football club, that other deals can also get pushed forward, and we can get everything done that we need to give ourselves a chance to actually bring in the right players as well. But like I said, that he did actually just remind everybody that they might not get their targets. The internal meetings that Romano constantly goes on about are all just to push Manchester United in the direction of what we can do if this is sorted, as in that player's sold, we can then move for this. But who are the types of players with the right characteristics that we want? They're the discussions that are going on at the moment. So Ekitike was approached, Frankfurt were approached by Manchester United last week, but he's already committed to Liverpool. That's why we couldn't get him done, which is interesting. I think that's one of the biggest things to take from what Ornstein said there. If we can afford Ekitike or feel comfortable enough to actually approach them at Frankfurt, that is for him, then there must be confidence within Manchester United that we can actually get the deals done for the likes of possibly a Sesko or a Watkins. We could still be talking about the Edison. And he said also in his piece, I think there, about the midfield situation and the goalkeeping situation. Lots of names are flying around. And we will find out sooner or later because, 40 days left, I think, now in the transfer window. Ornstein said there's still plenty of time. I think he's experienced enough in the transfer market to know that there is still plenty of deals that can be done in that sort of time. And everybody just should be calm around what's actually happening, particularly Manchester United fans, because the business that we have done has been very, very good. And everybody has been impressed with how Manchester United have actually got these deals over the line in the time they have, and we have got Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha on board. He did say that United were actually thinking about buying Semenyo and Mbeumo as a front three with Cunha if they didn't find the actual striker they wanted. The two players that they have brought in Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha, were players that we did not need to sell players for. He has reiterated that and always talked about that from the start. Them two players were done with the finances United had available. It's now down to what United can do with player outings. But obviously, again, just talking over what I've said already, there is an air of confidence around Manchester United that they can get these deals done. So let's get into the comments section now on the show and see what you thought of everything that Ornstein said there. We have also got a poll running right now just on the striker side of things. Next Manchester United striker, who do you think? Sesko, Watkins, Jackson, or one of the free agents? Sesko, 72% of the vote with nearly 1,400 votes in already in 10 minutes. That's telling you where everybody's thinking at the moment. Is that what you want, or is that what you think will happen? There's another question for you. Glenn with a super chat says, did you see the Mail article that came from Portugal saying that Gyökeres not joining United because he shares an agent with Viktor Lindelof? I didn't see that one, no. I have no idea what that is about, Glenn. Thanks for the super chat, mate. I'll have to have a look at that and try and find out, but why would that be the case? Like the Daily Mail? Seriously? Come on. You've got to do better than that, surely. Ginger says, fans need to realise that the Mbeumo deal only took as long as it did due to Brentford moving the goalpost and trying to get a bidding war. A big up Wilcox. We'll talk about that in a minute, Ginger. Good point there. Thanks for that super chat, buddy. Ant with another one says, unpopular perhaps, but I see Sesko as expensive and high risk. I think experience is needed now. And then focus on getting a real top number 8 in. Experienced striker? No, I don't think it's unpopular opinion, and I think it's valid opinion, to be honest. A lot of people think that way. Sesko is still a risk. We were talking about this last night. It's like there's no guarantees. And I think this is what the discussions will be. Obviously, Christopher Vivel, like we said last night, regarding Sesko, is trying to persuade Ruben Amorim or convince Ruben Amorim that the character of the player is right. The temperament and the, I would say, the actual understanding and maturity is where Manchester United will not have an issue with Benjamin Sesko. I think that's what's been driven across. Whether or not Vivel gets to that point where he convinces Ruben Amorim, I don't think Ruben is fully convinced. There are stories going around that that's who Ruben wants. And then there are stories going around saying that Ruben still isn't fully convinced. He would rather have an experienced striker in at Manchester United. Interesting there has been a good mix of young and older players mixed with Manchester United, but still, we was talking last night on the Big Up Calling show. Manchester United have been buying still the players that are young or in the prime with an upward trajectory, and not the players on decline. And some would put Martinez into that bracket as well. And no decision still on the goalkeeping side of things, everybody. There was a story going around last night that came out regarding Martinez and Manchester United this weekend approaching Villa with a loan offer for Martinez. There is nobody of any credibility at all that has said that that is genuinely the case. And there is still no decision being made on Manchester United's front on the goalkeeping side of things. In fact, that story going across the bottom of your screen right now on the information bar is from Ben Jacobs saying that they haven't decided yet which way to go. They know exactly what options they've got. They know exactly where everybody is. But I was also told last night that Manchester United have been scouting Sonny Lamens for over 2 years now. Some people at Manchester United, in fact, think he could be better than David De Gea. So the Martinez loan offer is way of the mark. And what we've got here is, and this conversation has come up a few times and we've debated it, but what we've got here is Ruben Amorim wanting his priority players, the experienced players, but Manchester United's scouting and recruitment team also having their say. I think Martinez is what Ruben wants. I think the younger goalkeeper is perhaps what Manchester United want. Now, they're looking past Ruben Amorim because we know Ruben's not going to last forever. They're looking to the future of Manchester United. Can Lamens fit in with Ruben? Yeah, I think he's better than Andre Nana. That's not difficult. Again, just my opinion on that. But I'm saying that they feel, after looking at Sonny Lamens for over 2 years, scouting him for that long, I think that Manchester United are confident that they've got a good goalkeeper here that will fit comfortably into what Ruben wants. And then if Ruben's not there, will he be okay with the next manager? Yeah, of course he will. So the recruitment is battling against what Ruben wants. And don't forget, in this, Ruben now is fighting for his career. He's fighting for his job. So he's going to want as much ready-made quality as he possibly can. Now, United have backed him right up to the hills here with these two signings of Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo. These are prime, perfect players for Ruben Amorim's system and for United going forward. So I think where there is a little bit of Ruben in these two signings, I think it was an overall agreement that these were the best that United could get. And like David Ornstein said there, Bryan Mbeumo was the top target. He was ahead of Semenyo. There wasn't even a question there. It was always top target, Bryan Mbeumo. And Romano was also backed that up and said exactly the same thing on this one. So again, I think it is a case of United and Ruben coming together here, but this isn't just Ruben's players. This is the club overall, I think, and Manchester United doing excellently well. I think also the backing, and Ornstein touched on it there, in getting Rashford out of the door and dealing with a very difficult situation very quickly, I think has also been, I think, looked at, and United need a lot of credit for what they have done and managed there with that situation. It's done. That could have dragged on all summer. And Ornstein made a big point about that and what they've saved already. And credit to Manchester United there for getting them done. And again, like, people just want to go in on Manchester United and blame the hierarchy and the ownership. There are good people working at United now. That's the difference. There are good staff that have the football side of things at the forefront of their plans and what they want this club to do when everybody's on the same page. So like when Ornstein says it, why is nobody coming out and praising Manchester United? It's all right using Ornstein when you're looking for a credible source, but when it doesn't fit your narrative, I've not seen any of the naysayers come out and say, I'll quote what Ornstein has done so far from what I've seen on social media, in crediting Manchester United with being actually ahead of certain clubs in this transfer window already. Definitely with the circumstances United are dealing with, more so. I think that does deserve it. But look, again, the important thing to take from what Ornstein said, I think, is Manchester United now moving forward. The striker, the goalkeeper, the midfielder. The midfielder looks like that could be the last signing for Manchester United. I think from what everyone's said so far, I do believe that looks like it's the one that's probably going to come in later in the window. But there is no particular order to these three players that Manchester United want. Keeper, midfielder and striker. If any opportunity comes up that Manchester United feel they can go all in on, they will take it. So I think it's going to be a very interesting few weeks now for Manchester United in what's left of this window. I think looking at it, could we approach Edison? Could we approach like the Sesko and Watkins situation? Is it going to be Lawrence? over Martinez. There is a lot coming up over these next few weeks, and I think what this journalist is saying here is that any of these stories could just break at any time now, and I think that's what we're looking at, and I think this is where Manchester United are actually at. So super chat in from Ross says, if it's me, I go for Watkins. Premier League proven, gets him on 3 years, continue to develop Obi and Biancheri behind him. Price and age will be issues on Watkins though. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, what do United get Watkins for? That is always going to be a problem. Alan says, needs Sesko. He is as good as Gyökeres, Ekitike, Osimhen. Top striker, need Edison as well. And Martinez or Lamens. I think a lot would agree with you on that one, mate. Cal says, people need to remember, isn't Martinez like 22 million? It's a bargain when we need a keeper now. He's proven for a year or two while we rebuild. I think it's a no-brainer. Cal, they're saying that Emi Martinez is cheap and will help Manchester United over the coming years. They're not looking at buying or spending mega money on Martinez here. They're looking at him being a cheap £22 million player that will improve United instantly while they develop elsewhere. I can see why you're going with that, Carl. I can see that comment completely, and it is valid. It really is. Let's move on. The show has gone mega quick there. Absolutely mega quick. Thank you for all the likes, by the way, everybody, already. Keep liking the video. Let's get them up. We are only about 50 subscribers away from that magical 92,000 mark. The next 1,000 is on the way, everybody. Thank you if you have subscribed already. If you've not, please hit that subscribe button and like button. Cheers, everybody. They are free and it helps the channel out massively. So cheers again on that one. Okay, moving on to what Romano said. And Romano, some really interesting bits from his video yesterday. Late last night, he was talking about Manchester United actually being offered Viktor Gyökeres again by the intermediaries at Sporting. This is turning into a bit of a saga for Arsenal and Viktor Gyökeres. Extreme measures being taken now. And again, it just goes to show how Manchester United are again being used as a weapon by other football clubs. The name of this football club is just being dragged through every single transfer to make more money for anyone, I feel, right now. And again, this Viktor Gyökeres saga is prime proof that Manchester United still do have that pulling power. Let's use Manchester United to get this deal moving. Let's get more money out of Arsenal by going to Manchester United and saying, you can come and offer for Viktor Gyökeres now and take this player. Well, no, we can't. Because like Romano said, he has committed his future to Arsenal. He wants to go to Arsenal. Sporting are using Manchester United at the moment, and I think United need to take note of this and just bank it for the future, because United walked away from Gyökeres as soon as they found out that he wanted the preference of Champions League football and Arsenal. Job done. Simple as. We knew this. Romano even said it about, month and a half ago, back in June, I think we was, right at the start. Gyökeres would have signed for Manchester United instantly if we had Champions League football. He's 27, he wants to compete in the Champions League, and obviously doesn't see Manchester United as a guarantee in the Champions League. He wants to play this season. He's not going to wait. He'll be 28 and there's no guarantee that Man United will be back in the Champions League next season, the season after next, sorry. So Gyökeres was never on the cards for Manchester United. We are never going in for him. And the intermediaries, the new inward in this transfer window, which everyone is now talking about because of the likes of Fabrizio Romano talking about it and filling us in on it, I think is, again, just another situation and difficult hurdles to get over in these transfers. Like Ornstein was saying, like, they're not easy. They are very complex, and this isn't a straightforward black and white sort of industry when it comes to the transfers. They're incredibly difficult, and when you've got people like these intermediaries doing what they're doing, then it's quite clear, isn't it, that Manchester United are always going to be up against it, and throwing United's name against him again, like, seriously, like, honestly, Manchester United are well out of that situation with Gyökeres. Thank God we're not dealing with that crap. Honestly, that just looks like a nightmare right now for Arsenal. And people go on about United's Mbumo saga. I'd rather have that than bleeding Viktor Gyökeres. More on Mbumo in a minute, actually. But Romano also updated us on Rasmus Hojlund. So in the space of a day, 24 hours, both David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano have come out and said that Rasmus Hojlund could leave Manchester United. Now, I feel they know something behind the scenes and something's going on. Now, Romano will cover himself by saying that it has to be Manchester United that tell Rasmus Hojlund he's leaving. I get that. That is fine, and I think that is the situation because Rasmus is a Man United fan. He's a young lad. He's had a poor season. He wants to prove himself, and he's already come out and said he would like to obviously fight for his position. If another striker comes in, he's done. He's not getting the number one spot. Not done as such, and that's probably a bit harsh, but you know what I mean? I said it last night. Rasmus will become a number 2 striker at Manchester United, and that whole aura of that number 9 shirt, I could actually see the number 9 shirt being taken off him. And that will really hurt. And I think Manchester United are preparing for this. I do. I think Ornstein knows something. I think Fabrizio Romano knows something. I think something behind the scenes is that Rasmus Hojlund could actually be the man that's used to bring in a little bit of money. And I'm only saying that because of what Laurie Whitwell also said, that United are willing, and some people at United have been said to have commented that the club are willing to take a loss on the PSR side of things just to bring some money in to go and buy another striker now. They are willing to lose on Rasmus Hojlund. That's always been said, and that's come from The Athletic. And Ornstein has also backed up the fact that United could send Rasmus Hojlund out this season. Whether it's a loan, whether it's a sale, we don't know. But I think Manchester United see this as one main striker with young striker underneath him, and then you've got the other players like Gyökeres, Bruno, Cunha and Mbeumo who can also fill in the number 9 position this season. I think they want one, and it doesn't matter now if Rasmus Hojlund is out the club as well. I think that's what they want. And don't forget, Ruben Amorim has said he wants a smaller squad. I just don't think he rates Rasmus Hojlund as a striker. I really don't. And I think that is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back when it comes to Manchester United and Rasmus Hojlund. I think there is something going on behind the scenes where they know that they want to move Rasmus Hojlund on. I think his time is coming to an end at Manchester United one way or another. But look, I wouldn't be surprised, don't get me wrong, if he doesn't go. But this is all going to come down to what Man United do. If it's the cheaper striker, like I said in that poll, the free agent or one of them, which could come in, which will be disappointing, Rasmus stays. If it's one of the bigger strikers, I think Rasmus goes. And a lot of people have also said that he could learn behind these strikers, but Manchester United's financial situation, and everyone keeps saying it is dependent on players coming in based off what goes out. And if you're looking to make room and bring your squad size down, you don't really want to have Rasmus there on the bench when he is supposedly Manchester United's number 9. That's just how I'm reading the situation at the moment on that one. But let's again get into the comment section. We've got quite a few super chats to get through right now. WJ Barrett, thank you, mate, for the super chat. Adam, the Gyökeres saga could drop for us. Romano saying he only wants Arsenal, but also said he never said no to Man United. I feel this could still happen. Gyökeres, look, never say never, mate. You're right, and you are right in what you said there. Romano did say that he's not said no to United, but he wants Arsenal. Until Arsenal are off the table, Gyökeres is done. That's how I see it anyway. Andreas says with a super chat, between Watkins and Sesko, I would take Viktor Gyökeres. At the moment, again, like we can talk about Gyökeres. It's like Andreas has said it there. WJ said it there as well. I get it. Like Gyökeres isn't dead, but I just think Manchester United are best away from the whole situation. And again, I don't think United are going to buy a 27-year-old. I just don't. Are United his last option? And could Viktor Gyökeres say, right, I'm going United. There's nothing else left for me at the end of this window. It goes completely balls up with Arsenal and Sporting stand their ground like they are doing right now. Let's not forget, we're into week 2 of this so-called here we go for Viktor Gyökeres, with all of the major journalists saying it, and nothing has happened. He's not even on the tour for Arsenal heading out to Asia. He's not even in at Arsenal. So again, Viktor Gyökeres is nowhere near signing for Arsenal at the moment. Could it all turn around at the end of this window? I'll never say never is what I would say on that one. Peter Reds says, happy with what we have so far, but desperately need a midfielder. By the way, this transfer window is definitely bringing the grey out. You're telling me, mate. Honestly, I'm going to have a Father Christmas beard by the end of this window. It is coming out of me, like, honestly, right now, I'm just glad I've got a lot of hair and I'm not going the opposite way. I'd rather just go grey. You know what I mean by that. Jack, with a chat as well, says, I don't think Amorim would want Gyökeres now anyway, because he's not committed to coming to United like Mbeumo and Cunha was from the start. That's a good point to make as well, Jack, because Ruben and them famous comments said like he's never had a conversation with Viktor Gyökeres, and he only wants players who want to play for Manchester United. That, I think, is a massive to look into as well. I think that's key to always remember that Ruben's stance on that has been there from the get-go with players coming in this summer as well. WJ again with another super chat. Thank you, mates. Adam, Romano also said he never said no to United when Sesko was on Arsenal's radar. This could have legs. Arsenal playing games that could F up the deal. Look, again, anything is possible. It really is. And I just don't, at the moment, see United prioritising Gyökeres. The fact that they keep on getting offered him, we know what Sporting want for Viktor Gyökeres. It's a lot of money. And I just don't see United's hierarchy sanctioning a deal of 60 million, 70 million, whatever it is, for Viktor Gyökeres at the age of 27. I don't, which is why I don't think we'll buy Watkins at 60 million. Now, if Watkins was 30 to 40 and you could make a deal happen, maybe. But again, I just don't think United will buy a striker of that age for that amount of money. It's just not what we've done. The oldest player we've actually brought in is Mazraoui at 26, and he was only 14 million. I think that's why we brought him in, because he's 14 million and he's an absolute bargain. If you've got players like that, like what Cal said before, 22 million for Emi Martinez, I think is a good investment, because 22 million, it's not a lot of money, and you're bringing in ready-made quality. If he helps us get into Europe next season, that's that fee paid instantly. I know you could say the same about Gyökeres if he helps us get into the Champions League, but I just don't think, I actually think there's a mark where United will go and then they won't go above it. And I think Ineos have got this set. There's like a line, isn't there? Like an investment line with United. It's a weird one, but yeah, I get what you're saying, WJ. This could happen still. Yeah, you're right. I just don't think it is at the moment. I think Arsenal will get the job done eventually. If they don't, I will be with you, mate, and I will be laughing into my breakfast. And if he ends up going to United because of it, even more so, because I would take him still. I would. J-Lo, welcome to the Members Club. And with another super chat there. Karen Gyökeres has become a bloody drama queen. This, honestly, I'm so glad that we're not dealing with this right now with what's happening with Gyökeres. The fan base would be in an absolute 2 and 8 on social media, wouldn't they? You can imagine all the stick that we would be getting right now. Oh my God. Anyway, back into the poll. Next United striker. Who do you think it will be? Sesko, Watkins, Jackson, or one of the free agents? By the way, Jackson at 2% of the vote right now. I love that. That's exactly where I would put him. 2%. Oh my God, yeah. Free agents 4%, Watkins 21%, and Sesko 73% of the vote right now. That's exactly how I would put it. Although I thought it would have been a bit closer between Sesko and Watkins right now, but Sesko seems to be the man. The younger prospect seems to be what a lot of the fan base, well, this chat anyway, with over 2,500 votes anyway, quite a lot of people. So, obviously, I talked about Jackson there as well. Before I move on to the Mbeumo situation, I wanted to just talk about Jackson because, thank you, Ben Jacobs. Finally, you say something that I actually like, because last night he came out and said that Manchester United are basically have Nicholas Jackson right at the bottom of their striker transfer list. Thank you. Yeah, let's hope that we get one of the other targets and we don't get there. We all heard about the price tag that Chelsea put onto Jackson's head last night. We all had a good old laugh about it. And Manchester United at the moment are not negotiating with Jackson. Like Romano also said last night, they are aware. but no communications at all. Romano, by the way, also said in the next 2 days it will become very clear on where Manchester United are going with the striker. So what that means, I don't know. Have United got a cut-off of when they need to make it? What does Romano know? I said it before. Ornstein and Romano know something that they're not giving up yet. They need plenty of Manchester United juice and fuel for the last 40 days of the window. And I think that is clear with what's happened there. But yeah, the 2% of Chelsea fans, says William. Yeah, I think so. They just want rid of him so they can bring somebody else in. But yeah, Jackson right at the bottom of the pile. And I think that's probably where most Man United fans would have him. I think even everyone looking in on this, like neutral fans, would think that Jackson would be bottom of the barrel also when it comes to the players that we're looking at. If you put Jackson up against the likes of Sesko and against Watkins, then there's no way that Jackson gets anywhere near them two. I'm sorry, he's actually, according to the reports, more expensive than both Watkins and Sesko. That's probably another big reason why Nicholas Jackson is bottom of the pile. And I think that is where he will stay. And I'm happy about that. I really am. Anyway, moving on. What do y'all think about Ekitike and that bid from United? Does that give you any sort of confidence that Man United do feel like deals can actually get done? I didn't ask that question before, actually, but I mentioned it, but didn't ask you all the question. Do you think it is a sign? Yeah, that again, it's a weird one, isn't it? And again, that rolls into what I was just saying. How I think that Romano and Ornstein actually feel or know that there is something going on behind the scenes. I think something's going to come about in the next week with United that we maybe didn't expect. You could say that it was coming, but I think there's a bit of a surprise coming. I really do think there's a surprise coming in the next week or two. But obviously, Man United's tour starts this week as well. So that's going on for 12 days. What will happen transfer-wise while we're out on tour? Will any business get done? Yeah, you could still get done. You could get business done. It's easier done. Easily sorted while still away. I think United do still have people travelling around even when they're on tour. So, and being in and amongst it on them tours like I have been in the past, I do think that there is a chance that business will get done as well. Piece just out from Laurie Whitwell. I'm going to move on to this next, but Manchester United have looked at several midfielders with Amorim wanting the position strengthened, but conversations are at the preliminary I struggle with that word. Preliminary stage right now. So just at the start of what we could do. Again, it did look like getting Mbeumo done was the biggest thing. Like put everything into that and get it over the line. We've managed to get Rashford done in the same weekend, which is a massive bonus for Manchester United. I do think the discussions now are how we spend the likes of Rashford's money. And what we move forward. Right, what have we got available to us right now? With the players that we have got the sell-ons for, 20 plus million. Rashford's wages saved on top of that. There's another 17 million. So at the moment, Man United are in and around £40 million mark. Is that enough to actually go out and get somebody in right now in the targets of positions that we want? Can we get a keeper with that money? Yes. Can we get a striker with that money? Maybe not at the moment. Can we get a midfielder with that money? Yes, we can. So again, this is why Ornstein, I think, has said there is no order to the players that United are going for. Goalkeeper, striker, midfielder, it could be any one of them three. And I think that will actually be music to a lot of Man United fans' ears because a lot of people actually do want the midfielder first as well. So it could be any of them. Romano, though, is the one who was pushing the striker side of things. But interesting now what Laurie Whitwell said on the midfielder side of things. But Laurie Whitwell was amongst many of the Manchester United journalists or correspondents for the club for their respected publications last night, talking about the absolute nightmare scenario that Brentford were dragging Manchester United through for Bryan Mbeumo. And it does look like Brentford made it like an impossible task. Like the journey that Man United went on and the continuous moving of the goalpost from Brentford, changing the price all of the time. At one point, Manchester United were told there was a take it or leave it price on the table, which was 70 million plus 7 million in add-ons for Bryan Mbeumo. You're off your rockers. Blacklisted right now is Brentford Football Club in transfer talk. Wow. Talk about deluded. Oh my God. There was a point actually, and a lot of the journalists said this, that Bryan Mbeumo was told he could take a wage cut to make up the difference to make a transfer away from Brentford. But one thing that everybody has been talking about this Brentford deal in detail has been about how Brentford continuously changed the price for Bryan Mbeumo and how patient Bryan Mbeumo was. And through all of this, and this is why Ruben absolutely loves Bryan Mbeumo, through all of this, he said he only wants Manchester United. There was even a report of Chelsea coming in and making a last-minute bid. Now, that has been completely rebuffed, and Chelsea have denied that they tried to make a last-minute bid for Bryan Mbeumo. But this is what Chelsea do, and this is what a lot of people have said that Man United should do in copying Chelsea. Go in on the last minute and make that deal happen. Like, I understand there are prime targets. I understand there are targets that you set your stall out for. But sometimes, like when things change and the situation we're in now, maybe there is an opportunity for United to just steal in after all negotiations have been done with another club and take him away. Well, that's what reportedly happened with Chelsea and Bryan Mbeumo right at the death. But though Chelsea have denied it, of course they would. I would actually believe that Chelsea tried to do that, to be honest. But both Arsenal and Newcastle made more lucrative offers in terms of wage packets for Bryan Mbeumo than Manchester United, and he still said no, he wants Manchester United. As soon as he heard that Manchester United were interested in him, he went all in on Manchester United. He said it was the only club he was going for. Listening to what Bryan Mbeumo's comments have after. Honestly, I love the guy already. He is just another Matthias Cunha. Again, like the fact that we've got them two in this football club, honestly, absolutely made up. And again, when you listen to him and you listen to the story behind the Brentford saga and everything, and I said this, didn't I? While it was going on, I tried my best to keep positive with everybody and say that this deal would get done. It has got done. I had my concerns at times, yes, but I always led with Bryan Mbeumo wants Manchester United. And I said that the truth would come out once this deal was done. And all the stories would start to circulate about what happened. But 77 million Brentford wanted for Bryan Mbeumo. And Man United have got him for 65 million. Absolute credit to Manchester United. Going back to what Ornstein said there, actually on Mbeumo, yes, it seems like a price, but when you weigh up what other players are going for in this market, and this is how Brentford tried to push United as well, don't forget. When you look at the other players that have been sold already and what's happening, Bryan Mbeumo and Matthias Cunha look like exceptional deals for Manchester United. And I completely agree with that. They are absolutely brilliant deals for this football club. And I am so happy that we've got Bryan Mbeumo over the line. Nice try, Brentford. But in the end, United got what they wanted. United got that deal done. Realistic values were put in place. And an agreement was made. And United, thankfully, got Bryan Mbeumo over the line in time for the tour, because that just gives Ruben that little bit more. We heard, obviously, that Bryan Mbeumo trained yesterday for the first time. I'd love to see them pictures. But that was great news that he trained at his first session after completing his medical on Sunday over the weekend. And now he's on the plane today, heading out to Chicago. Bang! And all of that was going on behind the scenes. Isn't it time that we put a little bit of credit onto what Manchester United have managed to get done this summer already? I think that is key in this. I think it's massive, in fact, on what United have got done. Because Ornstein said it. Manchester United are actually ahead of other football clubs in this window. And it's not an easy job to get these transfers done. And we've just seen there how it was explained last night, how this Bryan Mbeumo deal went down. I think it was clear to everybody that United did absolutely exceptionally well to get that deal done when they did. Let's get into the comments on this one. Andrew says, Mbeumo is going to be a United legend along with Cunha. I agree with that, mate. I think he is cult legends already with the way that they've acted and conducted themselves in this transfer window. Watkins will demand 5-year deal on high wages. No resale value is a big risk. It just depends, Joe, on what we pay for him, I think, on that one, mate. It's a good point. The Realist says, for those interested... oh, no, that's for Gray. If Ornstein comes out and says we are in for a player. We believe him as most likely true. Him saying United are done, I've done well, is just his opinion. It's different. Yeah, but also he backs it up with stats, mates. And that, Dale, is your opinion that United haven't done well. But look where we finished and look who we're up against and compare our windows to other people. Forget about Liverpool, Arsenal, City. Forget about these. Would you rather be in Newcastle's position right now or Manchester United's? And they got Champions League football. Would you rather be in Spurs' position right now or Manchester United's? And they got Champions League football. And still these players want to come to Manchester United. And we got good deals for them. That, I think, says everything. Yep. European football for Villa, nobody in hardly, no one of significance. European football for Nottingham Forest, what's happening with them? Nothing's happening. Like Manchester United, I'm telling you, and I've been saying this for a while, and a lot of people don't agree with me, and I get it, it's all opinion, and like what Dale says there is right, everyone can judge this window how they want to, but still, I think Manchester United, to get the 2 quality players they have done in, I think have done amazing business so far. Manny says with a super chat, if anything, this window was about a culture change, and we have so far got the right players in to enact that change. And Mbeumo was actually convinced by the change in culture and the plan and everything in the environment around Manchester United and what's being built. That was encouraging for him as well, he said yesterday, in signing for Manchester United, which is a good thing also. Culture change and the way that Manchester United operate was a big thing in this window, and I think we've seen a lot of it. And going back, like, to get Marcus Rashford out the door as quickly as we have done, that is brilliant business for Man United. Ornstein's, the only bad bit about Ornstein was what he said about Sancho, where the news about Sancho being close isn't true. Gutted about that, but again, I said it yesterday, I'm never going to be overly excited. Glad to talk about Sancho leaving all day, every day. But I'm never going to be convinced by anything until someone like Ornstein or Romano or someone really important comes out and says that this deal is now on the brink of completion. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear someone like that come out and say, deal agreed, Sancho to Juventus or wherever, I don't care. Just out of United and money in the bank. That's it. Jack with a super chat. That's the players we don't. That's the players we want, though. Desperate to represent the club, no matter what position we are in. 100%. 100% agree with that comment there, mate. It is. That's the culture change that we're talking about, isn't it? That's what I think most Manchester United fans have been looking for in terms of the actual play we're bringing in, the characteristics. And we've got our 2 top targets. They're the ones that Ruben wanted. They're the players that Manchester United have brought in. And I said it yesterday. United are about to replace Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford with Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha. Good God, what a difference that is. And just let that sink in. That's the difference that we're dealing with this season. Oh, actually, in fact, we're about to change Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho, who are not even playing for the football club, 2 of the highest paid players at the football club right now, with 2 players who will do anything, and it has been proved this transfer window, to be a Manchester United player. And they are going right into the starting 11. Not an if, but, or maybe about them. Right in and improving this first team instantly. That is what them signings are. And people just take it in. Enjoy it. This is actually turning out to be a very good window for Manchester United. It really is. Let's just have a quick look at some other news coming out while we've been online. Manchester United transfer focus now includes the number 9 position. Sesko, Watkins and Jackson are on the list, but currently being actively pursued. That could change in the price if their price drops. So not currently being actively pursued. That's pretty much like what Romano said in terms of where Manchester United are at. Just talking internally about what they could do. And of course, Ornstein said there, if the price drops in the window, it becomes easier to get. And as the window goes on, a lot can change and a lot can happen. Don't expect loads to happen in terms of coming in the next 2 weeks. I think we will get a surprise, like I said, but I don't think there's a lot going to happen. But a lot could change towards the back end of this window. Man United's window right now, I think, is looking more likely to be busy in the last 2 weeks of it than anything else. I think that's where we're at right now. Radek Vitek is expected to arrive in Austria soon to be loaned to Stern Graz. That is a bit of news that is just coming out. If Vitek isn't actually being used by Manchester United this tour, then I could see United bringing in another goalkeeper. Eli Harrison has also been loaned out by Manchester United. So the two academy goalkeepers that we thought might actually be given a chance here, and this is nothing definite just yet, but just rumours going around at the moment. Vitek and, well, Harrison's definitely gone out on loan. And Vitek is also going to end up heading out as well. United already getting on with business. I thought United would have maybe tried to sell Vitek if he wasn't going to be used. Let's just see. There is an Mbumo interview tonight at 8 p.m. That will be interesting. That'll be a good watch. Hopefully, I'll probably save that one because I think I'm watching the England semi-final tonight. Is it the semi-final tonight? It is a semi-final for England tonight, isn't it? Yes, it is. I'm convinced it is. Anyway, yeah. That is coming out at 8 o'clock tonight, says Mark. That'll be a good one. That'll probably be an MUTV one. Interesting if he gives anything away. Usually on MUTV, it's not anything sort of hard-hitting or anything like that. So I wouldn't get our hopes up for any sort of inside gossip on what went down or anything like that. Right, let's just get a couple more chats in. A couple more supers have come in. Ginger says, Sancho to Abbey Hay Football Club incoming. Here we go. Would you take him? Oh, come on. No way. Ant says, building a team in capitals rather than just an 11 individuals. That's what it's about. God, can you imagine that? Brian Mbumo's going to be lining up in a Man United shirt alongside Matthias Cunha, Ahmad, Bruno, in one of these games in pre-season in the States. Cannot wait to see it. Hey, look, that pretty much sums up all of the news. How did it get over 50 minutes on the video? My God, that went quick. Thank you. Over 700 live likes. Everybody, if you haven't liked the video already, please drop a like on the video. Absolutely love that. Cheers, everybody. On the poll, Sesko has won it. 73%, 3,500 votes on that poll. You would prefer Sesko over the other targets at the moment. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. As you can see, we are 23 subscribers away from hitting 92,000. I would have loved to have got it on the live show. It looks like we're just going to miss out, but today will be the day we hit 92,000 subscribers. Literally 8,000 away from the 100k. Wow, absolutely mega amazing. And again, a massive thank you to you all on that one. If you haven't, do hit the subscribe button and bell notification. That way you will be notified of anything going on at the football club. I will bring you all the news here on Forever United TV. Also as well, please, that QR code on your screen is our match bingo. We are now going to be doing more match bingo specials for all of the Manchester United pre-season stuff as well. Match bingo are match sponsors. Use the QR code, scan it, download the app or drop into the description and hit that link. Match bingo link is there. If you press that, you will be brought up onto the download page. Download the app. And then obviously make sure that you do put a deposit in, £5 minimum deposit there. Then you will be doubled that by Match Bingo as a gesture for being a new member. Simple as that. Then you play the game, do what you want, pick the match that you want to watch, and it's like playing bingo while watching any football game. There is darts on there. There is the women's Euros as well. It could be anything happening from a goal to a corner. You get a line like in bingo, you win 25 quid. Another line, you will win another 25. Jackpots are upwards of 200 quid, everybody. And the withdrawals are instant to your account as well. That is another bonus on Match Bingo as well. So download the app, please. There is loads of specials coming up. Also, if there is a promo code option there for you, put in there FUTV in capitals and boost your actual credit by 200%. That is our latest promo code right now. And the games coming up are all of the friendlies, everyone involved in the Euros. There's dart specials, there's historical games on there as well. Get in there, have a blast. £2 a game, that is it. £2 a game. All you have to do is get that one line, 5 in a row. Let's go, everybody. Get onto it. It's Match Bingo. Thank you again to them. Absolutely brilliant sponsor. And the game, honestly, you're missing out if you're not in there already. It is brilliant. Oh, we are 11 subs away from getting to that 92k mark. What? Oh, God. I feel like I've got to finish up anyway, but it looks like we've just missed out on getting it while we're actually live. What an amazing attempt, though, from everyone in trying to get that over the line. Absolutely love you all. That was crazy. Cheers for that, everyone. Love it. I love you all. I am going to wrap things up there. We have just fallen short of that 92, but I'm sure it will hit any moments after we finish as well. So I'm going to say that while we're live, we hit 92,000 because you are all absolutely epic. The link for all of the Man United shirts, retro shirts and everything is in the live chat as well, and also in the description, everybody. Grab your bargains, great retro kits, training tops, training tracksuits for every single club. Honestly, I've had loads. That's where I found them. That is the link there, everybody. Check that out also, and I will see you all later on with the updates. Stay tuned, everyone. I think there's plenty to come, but for now, that is us all finished. Thanks to all the mods. Great job again. And I will see you all later on. Cheers, everybody. Oh, thanks for all of the super chats as well. That big part there. Thank you, everybody. Really do appreciate it. See you all in a bit.